Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fruit of the Spirit. In today's video, we're going to be going to the beginning of the Bible, beginning of everything really, and seeing if God knew that Adam would disobey him. That's the question for today. It feels obvious, doesn't it, the answer to this question? I mean, we know from many verses in the Bible that God knows everything, and to name a few of those verses, we have Hebrews chapter 4 verse 13, and Isaiah chapter 46 verse 10. And to be clear, let's look at that last verse. It says, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done. So clearly from that verse, we can see that God did know, and at that time he would also know that he had a plan for how mankind would be redeemed from Adam's sin, which was how God was able to have people as far back as Moses write about the ransom in Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 15. So clearly, God knew that Adam was going to sin. So why would he make him in the first place, and on top of that, give him free will? So after looking through the Bible, I have found 3 reasons for why God would do this. The first and second refer to why God would make Adam in the first place. So let's get into that first reason. So here's the thing. To explain this, look at it this way. God is like a parent. Parents have children knowing that those children can disobey them and go against their ideals in the future. But that doesn't mean that the parents would wish that they never had a child or wouldn't have another. They still love that child if they're good people. God's the same, as we are made in his image, according to Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. So God still loves mankind even though mankind sinned against him. God showed this attribute of great love by rescuing the Israelites from Egypt and leading them all the way to Canaan, knowing that they were going to be disobedient. They ended up serving a golden calf in Exodus chapter 32 and tried to go back to Egypt in Numbers chapter 14. But God still brought them all the way to the land of Canaan because he loved them. So that is essentially the first reason why God made Adam. God loves human beings. The second reason why God would create Adam, even though he knew that he was going to be disobedient, is that although Adam would sin, other righteous people came from him, like Elijah, David, King Josiah, and many more. That's more than enough reason to tolerate the disobedient ones, like Adam and King Zedekiah. And that third and final reason refers to the free will aspect. Wouldn't it have been better if God didn't give Adam free will so Adam wouldn't sin? Especially since God knew that Adam would sin. Well, the answer to that is actually no. The thing is, if someone is forced to serve you, that is just a robot. For a comparison of what that might feel like, let's take marriage for example. Marriage is beautiful when your spouse chooses you because they want you above anyone else. Compare that to them being forced into marriage with you and having no say in the matter. That is not nearly as special. This is why God has always wanted people to choose him rather than forcing people to serve him. For example, when the Israelites got to Canaan after the harrowing journey in the wilderness, Joshua asked them to choose who they would serve and didn't force them to serve anybody in Joshua chapter 24 verse 15. Another example of this is in 2 Chronicles chapter 25 verses 1 to 2, with a king of Judah named Amaziah. Amaziah was said not to be righteous, even though he followed all of God's laws. So what was the problem? The problem was he didn't do it willingly, so his heart was considered not perfect. Therefore, choosing God because you love him is very important. That was made clear in Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 5, which says, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. If there's no love, the service doesn't count. So God could have decided not to make Adam, but he wanted people on the earth, as he said in Isaiah chapter 45 verse 18, and he loves mankind. And although Adam disobeyed him, there are thousands of people who came after Adam who loved God and served him with all their hearts. And God doesn't want forced service, which was why Adam was given free will. That's essentially what was discussed in this video. And that is also would be the end of this video. If you like the way I broke down this question and you want to see more of videos like this, then you can subscribe and hit the like button so you can be recommended my videos more. And I'll thank you for your support. Have an awesome day, and I'd love to see all of you soon.